Ryan, we know that Steve Bannon tried to delay this trial as much as he could, and that strategy didn't work. What should we expect in court this week?
So his attempt to stall the trial failed not once, but twice, it should be noted. He tried to argue that the intense publicity around the committee proceedings really prevented him from having a fair jury, an untainted jury pool. After losing that fight, he came back again saying, hey, the House committee pointed to me on Tuesday with my all hell is going to break loose tomorrow comment on his podcast the day before January 6th. He again failed. So he's really going into trial tomorrow with his hands essentially tied behind his back, thanks to a series of pretrial rulings that have really severely limited what arguments he can raise. He wanted to argue that he was relying on the good faith advice of his counsel in defying the House January 6th committee. That was denied months ago. More recently, he tried to at least tee up some arguments at trial about executive privilege, and he tried to subpoena House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other lawmakers to even to take the stand. All of that was denied. So he's really going in tomorrow with very limited options and a Justice Department that feels like it has a very simple and straightforward case to make.
And Rick, let me ask you, given everything we've heard about Trump's action, is the DOJ doing enough to hold Trump and his allies accountable?
Well, that's a big question, Julian. I feel very strongly. I'm not going to. I hope the Justice Department agrees with me, and I'm going to be very general here. The President of the United States is the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. The one way the Constitution defines his job is that he needs to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. Unlike an ordinary citizen who doesn't have to do anything if he sees a crime being committed, the president is obligated to prevent a crime from being committed. In 1,000 different ways, he failed to do that on January 6th. In 100 different ways, we've seen that he planned to obstruct an official proceeding on January 6th, which is a federal crime. He planned to defraud the U.S., which is a federal crime. He was a participant in a seditious conspiracy. So I think you get my drift, that I think the Justice Department needs to figure out how to hold him accountable for a multitude of crimes that he may have committed, including, by the way, our colleague Barbara McQuade wrote a piece for MSNBC saying he could also be indicted for manslaughter because he deliberately didn't do anything about the fact that people were being killed on that day, and he knew that the crowd was armed. So I think there's a lot that the Justice Department can do. I hope they're considering it.
And of course, one of the issues here is the issue of evidence that's out there. January 6th committee member Zoe Lofgren says the committee now expects to receive erased messages from the Secret Service by Tuesday. Rick, I want you to take a listen, and then I'll have a question afterward.
We need all the texts from the 5th and the 6th of January. I was shocked to hear that they didn't back up their data before they reset their iPhones. That's crazy. I don't know why that would be. But we need to get this information to get the full picture.
What do you make of this whole debacle over erased texts from this, what the Secret Service calls a, quote, system migration?
Yeah, well, of course, in federal law, there's an obligation to protect all of the text and all of the information that you're using on your secure platform. It just makes one suspicious. I mean, were they not using secure platforms that are Secret Service platforms? Were they on their own phones? To me, these texts could connect the dots of this narrative that January the 6th committee is assembling. And to go right to the core of it, did someone text a Secret Service agent saying, get Mike Pence the hell out of there so he can't vote to ratify this election and take him to a secure place and keep him incommunicado? I'm making that up, but we don't know that that didn't happen. And until they produce those records, which they're obligated to do by the Federal Records Act, we don't know that.